Hello, students. In today's lesson, we are going to work on understanding plot. Plot is the chain of connected events that make up a narrative. It refers to what actually occurs in a story, order of events. Plots, also known as storylines, include most significant events of the story and how the characters and their problems change over time. This is an example of what a plot diagram often looks like. It starts with the exposition, which is the beginning of the story where the characters and setting are introduced. Then you'd move up to the rise in action, where the main character faces a series of conflicts. Then you'll see the climax, where most exciting part of a story will learn the outcome. This leads to the fall in action, where the events leading to the end of the story. And finally, the resolution, which is the end of the story, how the problem or the conflict was solved. Here are some key terms I wanted to review with you. So one, you have the exposition, where this is at the beginning of the story, and it often introduces the characters, setting, and the main conflict that are typically introduced. Then we have number 2, the rise in action. The main character is in crisis, and the events leading up to the action, the conflicts begin to unfold. The story becomes complicated. Then we have the climax. This is at the peak of the story, and major events occur in which the main character faces a major enemy, fear, challenge, or other source of conflict. The most action, drama, change, and excitement, it occurs right here. Then we have the fall in action. This is where the story begins to slow down and works towards the end, tying up loose ends. Then finally, we have the resolution. The resolution is like a concluding paragraph that resolves any remaining issues in the story. Now, let's look at an example of a plot. Here I have a story that I've written for you. It goes, Malia has always wanted to have a puppy. After months of begging and pleading, her parents finally gave in and said that she could adopt a puppy for her birthday from the local pet shelter. Malia was beaming. The following day, she went to the pound and began looking through the cages for a pet that she could take home. Just then, Malia noticed a small little black puppy with white spots all over his body. One look and Malia was in love. She had found the pet she dreamt of owning. After the puppy, whom she named Benji, received his shots and was cleared medically to go home with her, she bought him a collar and then took him home. Malia was overjoyed. Finally, she had all she needed. Now let's go through the story with you. The exposition of the story would be when Malia introduces her conflict, which is wanting a puppy, and she doesn't have one. Next, we're going to have the rise in action, which occurs as she enters the pound and begin looking through the cages for her puppy that she wants to take home. Then we have the climax. This is where she sees a dog she dreamt of and decided that she wanted to choose that one. Followed by the fall in action, which consists of the dog receiving all his medical treatment. And then finally, the resolution or the ending, when Malia took Benji home with her and the story ended. So here we have the exposition, we have the rise in action, we have the climax, then we have the fall in action, and finally the resolution. So this is a small example of what a plot of a story would look like. Remember, the plot is the events of a story. So when you're retelling your story, you're retelling the plot. You're often telling what happens in the beginning, the middle, and the end of the story, which is called the BME. Now, here we have an example of a plot organizer that you would use when you're retelling your story. So, of course, this would have been the introduction where Malia talks about her problem of her wanting to own a puppy. Then it takes you to the rise in action when she enters the pound looking for a puppy. Then the climax where she turns around and she sees the puppy that she wants, and then the fall in action when the puppy receives her medical treatment, and then the resolution, how the story is solved. Until next time, I'll see you around. Thank you guys for watching.